So there was this day when Kara and I were doing the full-time van life thing, where we were in South Dakota in Custer. I don't know if it's Custer National Park, Custer State Park. Beautiful park, actually. Lots of wild land. It was immense wilderness. I mean, it was huge. And there's a certain point where you actually can have a view of all the things. And I remember, and I have a photo of me sitting at a picnic table, and there is a beautiful lake in front of me. And in the distance is, there's a little island with a forest on it. And then beyond that is a mountain range. And I remember sitting there and thinking, I actually prayed about this exact moment. I had this moment in mind when we first got on the road of sitting beside these lakes with a mountain view, writing. And I got to do it. And there were a lot of moments like that for me. I spent a lot of time sitting beside lakes and looking at mountains and, walking in forests and things. And so the whole van life thing ended up being kind of a dream come true in a lot of ways. I certainly never really regretted it. Honestly, even when we were about to come off the road, I mean, there was never a part of me that thought, I wish we hadn't done this. That was never a thing. But the fact that I imagined, I actually have journal entries where I wrote about this, sort of a vision board kind of thing. I was trying to envision myself sitting in these spaces, doing my work in God's creation. That's what I had in mind. And then it turned out that was exactly what happened. As Kara and I inch closer to a very different version of this, I mean, we may spend some time in the van. We're definitely leaving the house. We've spoken with a realtor now. We're gonna be putting the house on the market by the end of February. If you are looking for a home in the this is Liberty Hill. If you're looking for a home sort of in the Cedar Park, Georgetown, Liberty Hill area, kind of close to Round Rock, just north of Austin, I got a place for you. 4 bedrooms, beautiful views. We got a green belt behind us. Talk to me. So we are preparing to embark on this new journey, and new things will happen. And what I've yet to do, and maybe I should do this, pardon me for coughing, is sit down and do another little exercise where I kind of envision what could come of it. Because, we're going to first, our plan, although plans constantly keep changing, but the sort of almost stable plan right now is to go to Pennsylvania for a bit, just north of Pittsburgh, and spend some time there. If some of the opportunities that I'm waiting for will hurry up and happen, it'll make that even more interesting. But I'll continue to do the work that I do now, and I'll continue to create the stuff I create now. And that means that I'm going to have more opportunities to work from new places. And there's a lot of beauty in that area. That part of the country is gorgeous. Right now, I think it's all covered in ice and snow, but maybe that will thaw a bit by the time we get there, I'm hoping. But we'll also be within range of so much more than we are here in Texas. A short drive away, some beautiful nature. And we've done this before. I mean, we spent months in Pittsburgh, months in Pennsylvania when we were on the road. We did all the kind of standard things. We went to Pittsburgh. We've gone to hockey games, and we went to the Hershey theme park, which I do recommend. It kind of reminds me, if you're from the Houston area, you probably remember Astroworld. And Astroworld was became a Six Flags park, but it's been around forever, and it still stands in my mind as one of the best theme parks there ever was. Maybe Disney World beats it on a lot of levels, but Astroworld itself was the best of the Six Flags parks that I've ever visited so far. And granted, I haven't visited all of them, but Hershey's reminded me so much of it. Reminded me and Kara so much of that it was a little bit like a weird sort of deja vu, like we had somehow slipped back in time and found ourselves in this place that we both recognized, though neither of us had ever been there. So part of the adventure. I remember, though, being in the van was kind of a trip. I mean, it was freeing because we would find a place and reserve a campsite or something, and we would stay there for a couple of weeks. Sometimes we'd get there and we'd decide this ain't for us, and we'd be gone in an hour, or we'd just stay overnight, or sometimes we'd stay 3 or 4 weeks, a month or two. It was up to us, and so our front yard and backyard would change regularly, and we would be in these gorgeous places, and we saw a lot of history. Now, we were doing this during the dark era, the COVID era, and so a lot of the country was closed to us. A lot of things, there was a lot of paranoia, a lot of, thanks to apparently a whole lot of misinformation and some manipulation. There were things that we didn't get to experience. So maybe we'll get to do that this time around. But we did see a lot of the things that we set out to see on that trip. I mean, just in that general region. And I know it's not all to everyone else. These things may be very distant from each other, but for us, this was all like one thing. South Dakota isn't all that far to us from things like Niagara Falls and and all the. We went to Plymouth. We visited all these areas. To a lot of the people who live in those regions, those things are really far apart. But to those of us who live in Texas, who've spent our lives in Texas, it ain't that far. It's a few hours drive. That's Texas for you. So there's a part of me that's kind of sad about leaving, and as you can see behind me, I've started to blur out the back. I was using like the photo of the background, and I've had some people comment, and so I thought, you know what, I'm all about being real. I'm all about being authentic. So this is what life looks like behind me right now. A lot of this stuff should come down very soon. I thought it would have been down by now, but we've been moving a lot of things into storage. I guess to bring this back around, though, there was that moment where I was sitting there and I realized that, I was very blessed because not only had I pictured this, envisioned this, but God actually did me the solid of letting me actually experience the exact thing that I had imagined. And I got to have Kara with me, and I got to have Minnie, my little dog, with me. I had my home with me. Everything I needed was right there. And I was doing my work. I was writing. I was doing podcasts. I was doing stuff for Draft Digital at that time. So if there's a lesson to be taken from that, and I think there's always a lesson to be taken from these things, it's that it is possible for prayer to become reality. Sometimes it doesn't look exactly the way you wanted it to. That's certainly what's happening right now in our lives. But, and really at that time, because of the pandemic, things didn't look exactly the way we pictured them either. That wasn't the trip that we had in mind. We didn't have in mind that we would go places that would be closed, no restaurants, no restrooms. But because of that, it changed some of what we did. And then we ended up discovering a whole new world that we didn't expect and never would have seen otherwise. So I guess what I'm trying to say is make the prayer. Don't expect the exact answer you're looking for, but do expect that God heard it and he's going to do something wonderful for you. And to just put a writerly spin on that, that whole trip inspired so many stories and is going to continue to inspire them. I think of this stuff all the time. So be on the lookout. But anyway, that was we'll call it a South Dakota experience. And I think we're going to have some more of those. So stay tuned. Make sure you like, share, subscribe on this YouTube channel. Leave a comment. Tell me about one of your adventures in the comments. Seriously, like tell me something that you pictured and dreamed about and envisioned, and you got it. I'd love to hear it. I need confirmation like that. God bless you. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.